Hi, this is Danny Doyle, and let's grab the blue gem.
Time to get some more money.
Sell the blue gem, because we have some things to spend a lot of money on here.
Oh boy, I wonder what we're going to be purchasing.
Yeah, what are we going to be purchasing? Well,
what could we possibly be spending all of our money on? Where are you going, Danny?
How did you?
No.
Did the authorities send you? No, you're too young for that. Well, I've made a little something spectacular. I'll sell you the prototype for 7,776 gold. It's worth it. Throw away your gold.
A small price to pay.
The thing is, this dialogue box is accurate because I just paid for the worst non-joke unit in the game. I will not actually... I'm gonna just tell you, it's not a full recruitment one, so I will not actually be purchasing Addington, but we are going to end 12X right now so that we can do an Addington unit review.
Yeah.
Oh, is that not it? Wait, where's... Oh, we talked to...
Oh, you have to talk to
the bishop, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Vladimir in the bottom.
Mr. Pope, where are you?
There he is. And then
we'll stagger this, or we won't even save. We don't need to save. I don't need to pretend that we're using. I don't need to pretend we're using Trashington. So the unit that we just purchased, you might notice, he's a reference to. So he's kind of like a dual reference to Triangle Strategy, as far as I can tell, because he's the barrel guy. But also, he's Mr. Movement Bot. It might look like he doesn't actually have movement skills. He doesn't have weapon ranks or skills. But as a class,
zero combat.
He has zero combat. Also, these growths are a lie. And most notably, his magic cap is 10. This is relevant because it's the only stat other than move that he cares about. He does have 10 move, which is cool. And he has Canto, which is cool. However, I will simply... Oh, wait, I need to deploy him, don't I?
Yeah, you probably need to deploy him if you want to show
it.
him off.
I will deploy him to show what he's got going on. So, we have Addington here. Oh my god, okay. Begin anyway, yes. Okay, so, he has every movement skill in the game. Shove, smite, pivot, swap, warp, and swarp. Am I missing one?
He also has like repo. He also has...
there's no repo here. There's no, right. It was repo here. So shove, smite, pivot, reposition, swap, and swarp. Making him the ultimate movement bot. Woo! So here's the thing: is that like occasionally, smite or reposition, or I think just those two really would actually like come in common in a way that Swarp wouldn't. Like if someone's at the edge of his movement range, or if you could, basically just that, at the edge of his movement range. Smiting or repositioning them would come up and not be like swarping, but otherwise, 99% of the time, swarp is the only movement skill that he cares about, because it lets you move them the farthest, it lets you move them to a specific position. And because he has 10 move, he can actually keep up with the army while swarping people forwards, which is an advantage he has over Peggy. One of Peggy's sort of like downsides as a swarper is if she's swarping someone forward, she ends up going backwards, and if she's swarping someone backwards, she ends up going forwards. So it can be a little bit awkward. You could just give her the Canto scroll, but that is, investment that Addington doesn't need. But otherwise, he's just a swarper who caps out at 5, which is lower than Peggy will have once we promote her in 0 growths. Like it's the minimum swarp range.
Yeah, He can only ever have 5 swarp range.
So he's going to move them less distance to turf. 5 swarp is still useful. Like, I think we demonstrated that last map. It is... I wouldn't even say situationally useful. Like, 5 swarp is useful.
5 tiles is a lot. In a game where, like, infantry movement is 5 or 6, 5 swarp range is a lot.
However, I do not think, even if he didn't cost 7,776 gold, I do not think that a deployment slot is worth just a 10-move Kanto Swarper. Like, that sounds absurd, but you get so many powerful tools in this game. I don't think you want 2 Swarpers. And I think if you want 1 Swarper, which sometimes you do, Peggy is usually going to be just mostly better at it. Kanto and 10-move does let him keep up better than Peggy can, but Peggy's going to have a much higher range. Like, even in Zero Growth, she has a slightly higher range upon promotion, but her magic growth is really good to the point where she will be able to swarp people halfway across the battlefield. And from, like, an LTC perspective, having 2 swarpers is definitely worth it, and Addington probably gets more distance in LTC than Peggy does, both because Peggy probably doesn't get, like, the high magic staff from being able to level up as much if she's swarping every turn, and also because he has that 10 move, he can, like, push people forward more. But in just casual play, a lot of maps, you're not pushing forward the entire time. Like, you'll be fighting on multiple fronts, you'll be going backwards and forward, there's some, like, reinforcements from behind you want to defend against. Being able to push people between faraway realms is, in my opinion, the real advantage of Swarp. Rather than outside of specifically LTC. Like, Addington's useful in LTC, but I'm not talking about in LTC. He does have another tool that you might have noticed for, like, casual play.
And it almost exists.
It's so bad. So, summons, the way that you... Oh yeah, whir also exists. That's really cool. It's actually funny. But the way that summons work in Fire Emblem is you can only summon 1 at a time, right? These are green, so they're not blue, so you can't control them. But even if you could, they're stationary. It's basically just a wall, but it has shade, so you can't even use it as a decoy. You can, like, use it to choke points, kind of? Like, you can kind of treat it like it's a, the obstruct
Light
staff.
Rune.
Well, not even Light Rune, because they can break it. I was gonna say obstruct staff.
Oh, yeah.
The first enemy to attack it will break it. But once enemies start having, like, 1-2 range, or, like, most maps don't even have that many one-tile choke points, right? Again, situationally useful. You know, you put 1 here, it can slow someone down for a turn, but they can bow over it, right? At least he can't, like, at least he can summon a Kanto, so he's not exposed, because he fucking dies to everything, too.
Yeah.
So, like, that's... Situationally, the crate can be useful, but, like... The fact it has shade means that it just... You can't put multiple down, because they're not going to get killed. And it just really, really limits its... Have you ever found a really big use for the crate? Because I haven't.
I think I placed one on a fort once to block reinforcements.
That's very funny. That's very funny. The fucking FE11 wrist treatment.
I blocked reinforcements once. I think in this map, I placed the crate, like, in between the 2 forts on the staircase to the right to slow some enemies down, because they would want to avoid the crate, but forts take 2 tiles to move. So it kind of slowed them down a little, but I've almost never used the summon because I'm too busy swarping, baby. I
just don't think he's worth, like, putting aside the gold, and, like, I will get back to the gold because I penalize him for that. I just don't think he's worth a deployment slot. If you want Swarp, you've got Peggy. If you want movement, you've got Emil. You've got, well, we're about to get Gaylord. You've got anyone who can use the Yoink staff, right? And then a lot of people have, like, naturally high move anyway, where, yes, Addington can keep up better than Peggy can with swarping, but if he's swarping people ahead every turn, he is gonna fall behind. because he has to use some of that movement going forward, then Swarp, and then some of it cantoing back. I don't know. I think he's the worst non-joke unit in the game, and I don't think it's particularly close. Outside of, in LTC, suddenly he becomes incredibly useful, but that is not unusual for LTC to be like, this unit sucks in vanilla play, but it turns out they're really, really useful in LTC because Vika can shove because of her start position or like that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not talking about an LTC context. Don't at me with like, he saves 5 turns. Okay. I'm sure he does. Like, I believe you. I'm just talking about a different situation. I know you're a huge Addington believer. Would you like to propagandize the 10-move Swarper?
Well, as someone who has never used Peggy beyond Chapter 11, I think he's the best Swarper in the game. So 9 out of 5 stars. Triple S rank unit. 10 movement is the best stat, baby. He has 10 of those at base. So I don't know.
You can give him the boots for 12 and the leg ring for 13.
Also true. His recruitment is the funny number. He's a Thracia. His recruitment's a Thracia reference.
It's not the funny number though. It's 7,776. That's not 776. Fake
it's
fan.
Close enough.
Fake fan. It's 7,000 away. That's not close enough. It's 7,000 away. It's off by a factor of 10.
He's also really good at calculus. He's also really good at calculus. So like, I don't know what more you want out of a unit. This sounds like the complete package to me. Dropping the bit for a sec. I like using this unit a lot. I just think 10 move Swarp and stuff is really silly to run around with. Watching this goober run around with 10 movement across the map, just being a pure utility unit without like weapons or anything. He's not worth over 7,000 gold. There's so many other things you could be spending your money on besides this guy. But yeah. I like him. I think he's incredibly silly. I love this goober, but he's just a movement tech. And with everyone having shove, promoted infantry gets like an additional movement tech. There's viable yoinks in the previous map, right?
Yeah, I was going to highlight, it's not just yoinks. There's some very cool viables in the previous map. That's because if he were free, I would still think he's bad, but I wouldn't say he's the worst unit in the game. There are other units who would be worse than a free Addington. But Addington costs you... Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the gold after we finish this. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I think Yoink is like 2,500 altogether. If you just wanted to talk in Yoinks because of movement tech or whatever, I think he costs... 3 yoinks, essentially. So that's 30 uses of moving someone 4 tiles and building staff rank.
Or 5 with Emil. Or 5 with Emil. Which is the amount of tiles Addington moves people.
Yeah, it's... You use this unit because you think he's silly. Because he's a little barrel automaton that can do calculus or whatever. That's why you use this guy, just because you think he's really funny to have this unit whose only role on the battlefield is swarping every turn.
But that's what Fire Emblem is about. Like, I've been negative on him, but if you enjoy him, fucking buy him. Like, throw your gold away, like it says in the dialogue, and then play with him. I've been referring to him as not a joke unit because I don't think he is. Like, I think he's... There's obviously a joke to him, but he feels more like a joke character, whereas like a unit who legitimately offers you something, I just think it's less than everyone else. Because deployment slots get very tight in this game, and I'd rather roll compress to someone who can do movement tech and also other stuff. Like, even if Peggy's not doing combat, she can heal, she can sleep, she can physic, she can swarp, but she can also do combat, because light magic's good. Emil can do combat, he can yoink, he can physic, he can sleep. There's another Swarper who joins much later, but he's in a similar position. He swarps better than Addington, and he can also do filler combat.
Having every movement tech sounds way cooler than it actually is, because it basically means you have Swarp, Smite, and Repo, like you mentioned. Like,
and it's mostly Swarp. Like, Smite and Repo are just, oh, I can't get to a good Swarp spot.
Yeah, it's basically just Swarp. And despite having 10 move in Kanto, it'd be funny if he also had like a ginormous aid stat, and he could also function as like a rescue bot with 10 movement. But 9 con or 9 aid, like that's not like just that doesn't even let him double as like a rescue bot or something. So despite having 10 move in Kanto, he can't even be like a super awesome rescue bot.
I would argue that it's actually better that he has low aid, because he's going to be swarping people. Like, you're going to get more mileage out of swarping him than rescue botting. And if he swarps and falls behind, your Cavaliers and Pegasuses and Wyverns can rescue him to the front line, since he only has 10 con.
It's true.
And like, yes, they could do that because of the way that the con formula works regardless, but then dropping him with infantry would be trickier. Like, if you wanted to go about it that way. So I think it's better for him to be more rescuable than for him to be able to rescue people, because I think if he's spending his action moving people ahead, you're almost always going to get more bang for your buck by swarping. Yes, you could rescue someone and move 10 tiles, but you can't rescue them and then have them take an action, right? Like, you can swarp them 5 tiles. I guess I can see a world in which, like, the 10 tile rescue would be nice to have. I can see
use him as like a 10 tile like take dropper if he had big enough con. He could like run 8 tiles up to someone, take drop, and then Kanto away.
That's true. I mean, he can still do it to some of the lighter units, like you know, the person who's seizing every throne, who you want to move super far anyway. He can do it to her. He can do it to some of the other utility units. He can't do it to Jeff, but he could do it to some of the like less heavy combat units, like mostly your mages, I'd say, probably.
You can use Peggy as your swarper and then rescue her forwards with Addington.
I mean, actually, though, that might be the best use case for him as a swarper. Like, unironically, have her move someone like 10 to 15 tiles, and then have him, like, bring her back to the front line.
Scoop her up.
Might be better than having him use his signature swarp, which is very funny. But,
and then as for the boxes, there's like no use for them really outside of like maybe you can find some weird niche case where you can use it, but
It's very situational. And when it does come up, it's not like it's a, oh my god, complete game changer. Because like I said, it's like an obstruct ruin. Like, enemies will break it. Maybe not in one shot, because like it's 15 defense and 15 HP, but like actually probably in one shot at this point in the game. And definitely later.
The crate is definitely just there just to show that Addington's like a little helper robot, so he can help you like move your crates and your boxes around in your warehouse or whatever.
He carries your luggage with his 9 aid.
It's a flavor skill more than a useful skill, I think. It's just there because he's a little helper robot.
But I do want to, as part of the unit analysis, take a look at the shops, so we will be right back with that. Okay, so there are a couple of notable shops here that sell things that you might want to spend your money on instead of Addington. So first off, effective weapons.
You can buy more hammers.
But notably, killer weapons. This is the last time killer weapons are buyable until Air Colon, which is the final interlude of the game. So, if you are the sort of person who really likes doing killer crit stack with berserkers and swordmasters, etc., like, this is your opportunity to get those killer weapons. They're not in any shops until, what would that be, 26x, I think?
25x.
25x. And that's more than just, because we are currently on 12x, that's more than 13 chapters away, because there's interludes as well.
Yeah.
So
they're also nice for the double weapon XP too. If you don't want to do them for crit builds, you just want to build rank on someone. They can also be pretty nice.
So that is something that's like noteworthy about the gold you specifically have here. Something that's noteworthy about gold in general is Apistus icons are buyable if you want to fix someone's luck stat. Yoink staff is buyable, which again, that moves people 5 or 7, or 4, depending on the user. which I would argue this is a better value. Like, this on its own is what, to me, disqualifies Addington from being the movement tech. Again, outside of LTC, where, yes, you can combine them, like, just use both, right? But
you can buy 30 uses of Yoink instead of buying Addington.
And in addition to that, there is a secret shop coming up in 2 maps that you get a little bit of gold in between now and then, but not a significant amount, and I do think you should be saving some money for it, because that secret shop is your first opportunity to buy a bunch of secret books, which we've already shown Agnes really likes secret books, but there's another unit who also really likes secret books. That secret shop also has some other goodies, but I do think the secret books are the best part of that secret shop.
Yeah.
And this character right here sells a personal weapon for Hilbert. We are not going to buy it, but that is also something you could spend your money on in this chapter specifically. It's only 900 gold though, so I thought it was more expensive. Okay, that's not actually a point against Addington.
I think it also sells for the same amount you purchase it for, just in case you buy it and realize it's a Hilbert PRF and want to sell it.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of funny.
It is a neat PRF. It's a Reaver Anima Tome that grants, like, the press turn effect.
Which is nice because Anima can't really press turn because there's no light mages.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget to talk to, what's his name?
Oh, I just wanted to show off the buyables. I have not planned out my 12x yet because I need to look ahead, figure out how much money I need for secret books. And figure out how much I can spend on... It's going to be Yoink Staffs. Like, for me, it's going to be Yoink Staffs and maybe a effective weapon. Not a hammer, though. Like, maybe a Shatter Spear, maybe an Armor Slayer.
Longbows, potentially, for positioning
longbow, probably at least one longbow.
Longbows are so good in TMGC.
But I need to figure out how much money I have to spend, so I will be back once I've done that.
With no Addington.
With no Addington. Probably no Jacob. I don't think you need to be here for, like, my shopping trip that'll take 2 seconds, but will be in, like, a day, because I have to plan everything out.
That's fair.
I'll let you say goodbye to your boy, though. I'll let you say goodbye to your boy.
Goodbye,
oh, it won't let me skip this. It won't let me
Pepper
skip
6
this.
Novelta.
It won't let me skip.
I like that everyone uses this generic boss from FE8 as, like, the generic dark mage guy. Goodbye, Addington. You were good in my run.
Hashtag good in my run. He's the same unit in your run! Unless you fed him the 5 golden lotuses. What's very funny is you can't even cope spirit dusts on him because of the magic cap. Like, that, yeah. I think that's the funniest part.
Yeah, it's... They knew what they were doing with that. It's... Imagine a world where you actually could just pump Addington full of spirit dust and get him like 15 swarp range plus 10 movement.
I mean, even if the cap was like 15 magic or something, so he could get a little bit above, that would be like something to let you cope, but it wouldn't be like, I don't know.
He'd have to always be wearing the foggy glasses to have a little bit of a chance at it.
Well, so the other thing is he can't get experience in order to level up. Like, his only experience is from summoning, and the summons have shade, so he usually gets 10 experience per map. So, like, not that his stats matter, and, like, his growth rates are 10%, but, like, I don't think that's a thing to hold against him, but you can't cope him. You can't cope, like, oh, I'll level up his bulk and make him bulkier. No, you won't. Even if you... we're gonna rig those 10%, you can't get him the experience. And it also wouldn't make a difference, because his bulk is, like, unsalvageable.
It's so sad.
Use him if you like him, though. You know? Hashtag throw away your gold. Before I let Jacob go, though, I do want to promote our boy.
Let me out.
I want to promote our boy. We have another Master Seal. I'm wondering... I think I'm going to save that for one of the 2 units we recruit next map.
I think that sounds like a pretty good idea.
But Flynn
He
is
gets a hat.
absolutely promoting.
Look at these sick gains.
He gets a hat, and he gets... Oh, right, we get to see the use descriptions.
I love
This
use
sword beats
descriptions.
lances, but can it beat Allen's? The barest of bare necessities. Mere blades cannot keep the likes of Kenneth and Simone in check. Those are the playable dark mages. A weapon of choice for edgy merms, and the extremely cool like.
I love the use descriptions.
I love Flynn.
Look at this guy. Look at him.
Yo, and he's gonna get S-rank swords soon too for that damage boost.
Yeah, +3 damage output. That's awesome.
I mean, look, 23 res is nothing to scoff at. Look at what we did. We accomplished that.
I'll save my scoffing for whenever he gets an HP level.
He won't.
I know.
Jacob, did you forget the premise of this run already? Okay, now I'll actually let you go. Okay, so I have Jacob with me. I was gonna do this alone, but I kept
Hi.
procrastinating. Hi, Jacob. I kept procrastinating like a little dummy. Is there anything we get for free here?
For free? I mean, like the houses have some stuff.
Do any of these talks? Oh, that's Vladimir. Not prepared, Vladimir. Do any of these talks give us stuff? I don't think so.
I think it's just lore stuff.
Dirk and Eliza. Hey, Dirk and Eliza.
I don't think like the recruitable units you can talk to give you anything really either, other than like you have to talk to Liam.
Oh, we do have to talk to Liam, right? I forgot. Okay, so we have to commit to hiring Liam. You can choose not to hire him, and this will affect a later map, but it is almost always best to just hire him. Should we mechanically spoil what's going on with Liam, or leave it as a surprise? We can leave it as a surprise, right?
We can leave it as a surprise.
Yeah.
It's
So
a surprise
now-
tool that'll help us later.
We have 20k gold, but I need 10k for the secret shop in chapter 14. And there is an arena, but I don't know if I'm gonna try to make tons of money in the arena, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
Yeah, the arena's a real sketch in this game.
I think I grabbed 2 yoinks, because there's another opportunity to buy yoinks actually fairly soon. After we get the rainbow gem, and I'm not going to go through 3 whole yoink staffs before then.
Yeah, we'll have plenty.
I want 1 extra armor slayer.
To make up for the hammers that we've been using up.
Yes. And then longbow. Longbow is very good.
Longbows are awesome in this game.
Killing edge?
Do we want a killing edge?
We have a swordmaster, right?
Yeah. I mean, it'll also help get his rank up faster. I think he starts at exactly B. Getting to
Yeah.
S faster would be cool.
Getting to S faster is cool.
3 extra damage.
Do we want any other, like, staves or tomes? I don't think so. Could buy a vulnerary to make up for the one I didn't get.
No.
I think we just leave it like this.
I think that's just about everything we need. I can't think of anything else unless you want to buy the Mazindine for
So,
800 gold
It actually
pieces.
sells, I think you're the one who pointed this out, it sells for the amount that you buy it for, right?
I'm very certain it does. So you can just like buy it and then if you're not using Hilbert, you can just sell it.
Yeah. I'm not using Hilbert, because unfortunately growth's unit in 0%
I don't know if-
growths.
I don't know if we mentioned what the Mazindine does. Well,
It
we
is
probably
a-
talked about it.
We did. We talked about it last week. But it's just a refresher in case anyone wasn't paying attention 2 minutes ago in the video. It's a Reaver press turn weapon.
Which is kind of cool.
It's neat. It's neat. I think that's the proper shopping, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just about everything
if we
need.
can make tons of money in the arena, I will do it. But we might not. You know?
I think it's going to be kind of sketch.
It is. So, we'll talk about the arena when we get to the arena, but arena's kind of funky in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. See ya!
Bye.
We almost forgot, or we did forget until Jacob reminded me. I'm gonna sell the foggy glasses, and I'm actually buying a heal staff. For a unit who joins on this map. And actually, I think I'm gonna buy a heal staff for Aaron as well. I think we can buy 2.
What's another heal staff? Why not?
I mean, another heal staff is 600 gold. That's what another heal staff is. But we have enough for all the secret books right now, and in addition to that, I forgot there's a stealable secret book on this map, so I did the calcs wrong. That's 2,000
nice.
less that I need to spend, and we can always cope.
Arena.
Okay, for real, for actual, for real, bye.
For real?
Bye. Toodles. Actually, goodbye. See you later. Alligator. In a while. Crocodile. Bye.